Welcome to the Forever Cash Life Real Estate Investing Podcast with your hosts, Jack and Michelle Bosch. Together, let's uncover the secrets to building true wealth through real estate and living a purpose-driven life.
Today, I have with me here, Cathy, right? And Cathy Nation, right? How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Jack. Thanks for having me.
All right, wonderful. I'm super excited to have you here. Again, it's a different look at what coaching has done and how it can operate and how it runs through and so on. So let's get started with first with you giving a quick introduction about who you are. Who is Cathy?
I'm Cathy Nation. I'm in Georgia, located northeast of Atlanta, and I joined the coaching program back in May of 2020. I've closed a few deals. It took me a little bit longer than some of the other students because I do real estate full-time as a realtor here in Georgia as well.
Okay, wonderful. So that's a great example of what happens if you have like an all-consuming kind of job. So in your case, you started in 2020, and it took you a little longer to get started in the first place. And why is that? Since then, so you have done, how many deals have you done so far?
I've done 7 deals total.
All right. And how many, do you have any more in the pipeline coming in right now?
I have 11 listings currently.
All right. So the 11 listings, what do you think what they're adding up for profit once they sell?
About $63,000.
63,000. Wonderful. And then you told me that you also have one deal that you actually decided to do a little bit something different with. But tell us about that one for a moment.
Yes, sir. It's local to me. And so what we decided to do, we were able to get it for $4,500, including all of the closing costs, and market's about $45,000. And so it's a 1.5 acre tract, and we're building a single family home on it here in North Georgia. So that has an estimated profit margin of $100,000.
All right. That's super fantastic. So that's exciting because, again, it shows that what we do here is not just a one-trick pony, right? We're not just showing you how to get $5,000 lots, as I almost like jokingly say, $5,000 lots for $500, and you sell them for $5,000 with a $500 down and monthly payments of $100. But it runs the gamut. Like, obviously, deals like that come along, and you probably have done some of those, right? Those really low-end deals that you buy something for under $1,000, right?
Yes, my first deal was only a profit of $1,526, but it still gave me the confidence to keep going and know that the program works.
Exactly right. And we always say the first deal doesn't have to be the most profitable one, but it is one of the most important ones because it shows you that you have gone end to end, right? You have gone beginning to end. You know what it takes to get the letters out, to make the offers, to get the deals, to renegotiate something necessary, to list the properties, to talk to a buyer, and to sell the property and bring the money home. And it doesn't really matter if that first deal is $100,000 or $1,500. Now, obviously, it matters in the bank account, and $100,000 is better than $1,500. But we are not looking to teach anyone to retire on one deal, right? We're teaching you guys to fish. So when you go out and learn fishing, are you going to give up because the first fish is that size, right? Or are you going to be excited that you have learned the process of getting to a fish, right? And that's what I mean here. So if you learn how to get that first fish, then you now know the process of putting of everything from A to Z. And now it's a question of optimizing that process so that your next deal is not a $1,500 deal, but perhaps it's a $5,000 deal and a $10,000 deal. Or now you said the 11 deals add up to $63,000, and now expanding your abilities to get a deal that you can potentially turn into a $100,000 deal by actually building a house on it. Super, super, super proud of you. Super, super cool. I love that. So now, in your case, so you took a little bit of time. Why did it take you a little bit longer to get started and to get your first deal?
As I mentioned, I'm a licensed realtor here, and so just about the time I had decided to look at the program, my real estate business, it was right in the middle, believe it or not, in May of 2020, March 2020, that first quarter, COVID hits, pandemic, everything shuts down crazy. And I had the largest month ever in real estate. So I had to, those deals are a little bit more time sensitive than some of the land parts of our business. And as you know, and so I had to just focus there. And then I'm kind of the person that I have to feel like I've got all these things lined up or in order. And so I had to get that under control. And I leveraged some of my business out on the residential side in order to pursue the land, because that basically is going to give me that financial and that freedom that I've been looking for a long time now.
Wonderful. Yes. And exactly it will that. So sometimes is like, and as you're listening to this, the key here is that sometimes, like if you're, no matter if you have an open week or not, bottom line is we'll still get you there. So no matter, and in your case, you have the need to understand everything first before you do the things, and that's okay too, because we are not talking about a 90-day coaching program. And in a 90-day coaching program, you probably would have not gotten anything done, because it would have taken you all 90 days to learn the main pieces. That's why, guys, our program is a 1-year coaching program. And that's for those who have already been with us for a while. You actually have an option to even renew into a second year at a discounted rate. And actually, in your case, you're on year 2 right now. And in year 2, things are really taking off right now. You have 7 deals closed. You have things. You have. You did deals in the first year, but now in second year, deals are starting to skyrocket. You're getting more and more things done, because you have taken care of the other part of your business, which is like the realtor business, and kind of like put that on autopilot or outsourced it or got the resources. Is that accurate to say?
That's right. And I think it's important for people to realize you don't have to be a realtor. I just happen to be able to list, some of my properties, and that's helped me with the relationships. But one thing I think is very important is my coach knew, like every one of your coaches know where you are the student in your business and life. And so if you do have that week off or that month off or that whatever that it is that's happening, you are still tracking and they are still holding you accountable to what you told them that your plan is or what you are trying to accomplish. So that's what I liked about it. Isn't a mail order type of coaching. You go follow this, and then we'll see you at the end of the 12 months. They're with you all, throughout the whole time. That's what I liked about it a lot.
And that's exactly what we stand for. That's our focus. That's like we won't abandon you. We won't let you just stranded. Now we'll work with you exactly on your specific situation, on your specific life situation, your specific business situation, your specific time situation, on your specific time horizon. Because ultimately what the business will bring, as you said, is that freedom. Because now look at it. Now you have 20, you have done 7 deals already. You have 11 more in the contract, $60,000. The other deal, how long is it going to be until the house is ready to be sold?
April, it should close. Worst case, May.
Right. So we're talking about another quarter from now, and you'll bring in another $100,000 in profits right there. So at that point, you're now in the 6 figures, very close to multiple 6 figures. And how does that compare to the income as a realtor before? I
feel like I have a little bit more momentum with the land than I can say. I can handle 11 listings. Do you know what I would be if I was doing 11 retail contracts, buyers, sellers, listings? I would be running around, putting out signs, getting a photographer, just so the volume that pays, I will actually finally this year be making what I'm worth for the time that I'm spending to get to those 6-figure income.
Beautiful. Exactly right. Right. Yeah. In order to get a 6-figure income as a realtor, you got to be hustling. You got to be working like crazy. You're there weekends, nights, days, all day long, like coordinating stuff, showing stuff, being there, doing open houses. It's crazy. I know I got a real estate license myself. I don't use it, but I know I have some friends that are very, very successful realtors. And it's hard to get them for them to have time for anything, right?
That's right.
They're canceling last moment all the time because they got a showing, they got a thing, and so on. It's frustrating, not just for them, but for those around them. And so with land, absolutely, because the land, as you guys know, listening to this, is designed around your lifestyle. You're not making offers over the phone unless you really want to, right? You can if you want to, but mostly we don't, right? We're sending out the offers in the mail. So therefore, we can have dinner with the family. We can have a glass of wine with friends while the offers are out there, right? We are listing these properties and people inquire through text message and stuff like that. We don't show the properties, right? We don't go. Plus, you can even have the creating of the listing be outsourced to one of a service provider that now exclusively for our coaching student does that and creates listings and so on at a small fee. But you can therefore have somebody create that for you while, again, you're traveling, you're having fun, you're enjoying life, instead of having meeting photographers at the property and having pictures taken or staging properties. So yeah, I love that, and I love that you're now in a trajectory for several $100,000. So that's really, really, really cool. So now, what were some of the struggles that you feel perhaps the coaching program has helped you with to get over?
I think a lot of the coaching, the group coaching calls that we have access to, the community of the land profit generator group, there's usually 50 to 60 on any given call. They're all scattered out through the work week. You can gather so many different tidbits as the coach interacts. The calls are always very, they're streamlined so that they're knowledge intense. I mean, they're like the water, the funny scenario about drinking water from a fire hose, but they're so helpful whenever I felt like I just can't seem to get this down pat. It takes so long to do this one thing. And you talked about how your funnel, you get stuck and it gets a bottleneck. I found the group coaching calls to help with that because others were having the same issue. And you were taught that one of the coaches is so good, Jonna. She talks about know what you're good at, and you say it, know thyself. Choose and do those things and leave those other outsource, whatever it is, the list that you got to download and data tree and the thing and all that. Get it to somebody. Of course, you need to know how to do it if you need to, but get that off of your plate and don't feel like you have to do it all. You can definitely outsource it. And I've made all kind of connections from the West Coast and wanting a lot listed in Georgia or want, something coordinated. And so the group is a great resource for feeling, stuck or struggling. But I always felt like my coach knew. One time I was on the ledge and he said, I can talk you back, I can talk you off of that. And I just was overwhelmed, trying to learn it all and take it all in. But he said, Cathy, he always had the confidence in me that I wasn't seeing in myself. So that's another thing. And I've always seen a value in coaching. I competed in a bodybuilding contest, something you wouldn't know about me, Jack. And people always say, tell us one thing that we wouldn't know. I'm like, that's it. But I do value that accountability, and he was always there. And so I'd recommend it to anyone if they were contemplating or on the fence. I would definitely recommend coaching.
Yeah, no, 100%. Thank you very much. Yeah, I appreciate that, because that is a key insight, that you need that accountability, and that over the course of learning anything, really, you have your up days and your down days, right? Yeah. You have your days where everything is going just like perfectly, and you have your days where Murphy's Law comes and searches you and finds you, and where everything goes haywire, and you're like, what the heck? And you want to throw everything away. But by the way, that happens to everyone, right? In every business. I belong to business associations. We sometimes have war stories over a glass of beer at night, where we just laugh about all the stuff that we have gone through and that has happened to us as entrepreneurs. And that's just the reality. It's just, but in order to get through it, but the reality is, the reason we are in entrepreneurs associations is that the reason, which is really kind of peer coaching organizations, is that you don't have to go through this alone, right? You want the reason I join an organization, I want to be the smallest fish in every room that I go into. I want to go into a room where everyone has more experience than I have. So that, because what that does, I want to have a coach that has more experience than I have, because what that does is it allows me to have a picture into the future, have a window into the future, because they have already experienced what I'm about to experience. And as a result, they can tell me where to go and what not to do and what to do in a certain situation. It's like, oh, you're experiencing this. Happened to me. Here's what you do. A, B, C, left thing, this is what you do, and you're done. You're like, oh my God, great. And alone, you would just sit down and cry.
Mm-hmm.
Not you, but I, perhaps, right? I mean, like we, I mean, like generally speaking, like we would just sit in the corner and want to cry, right? Or you binge, like grab a bucket of ice cream and just like console yourselves that way or so, right? But that's what coaching does. It's like it shows you which is the right way through the maze. And ours is not even such a complex maze, but it still is. In order to reach scalability, in order to have a business that now allows you to do 7 deals, have 11 under contract, build a house, do things, and reach multiple 6 figures, that's what it does. Isn't that right?
Mm-hmm. And the community is so great too. When you mention those things, I've removed and been through so much self-development with this too, that I've removed those negative Nellies, as we like to kind of nickname them, and the books that you recommend. And I mean, the self growth that I've experienced, and the ladies call, that's another thing for the people listening. One time a month, except for maybe in December for the holidays, we have a ladies specialty call that's only the women in the coaching program. And I mean, that's been, is just life changing. That's all it is. It's life changing.
Yeah, we're big fans of like of equality for that matter. Of like obviously Michelle is big in that, I'm big in that, and so Michelle had to come up with the idea, and the team came up with the idea. It was like, why don't we do a women's only call? Now I'm jealous because I can't even attend that, but Michelle attends them often, and they're run by one of our coaches, and we have guest speakers, and it's a no sales kind of thing. There's nothing being sold. It's just pure value add share, where the ladies can be in a room open-hearted and just share what they're doing, what they're struggling, what they're helping with. And yeah, I'm glad to hear it's a life-changing call. So it's,
yes.
it's
Yeah, the whole program has been. I mean, I just kind of, it gives me a lot of faith in what, and hope, because, some days you can have some doom and gloom in your life, and that's surrounding yourself, like you talked about. And if you're the smartest one in the room, then you need to be in another room. I like to surround myself. And Tim, you interviewed, I'm going to butcher his last name, but it's EBIE.
As we learned. Yeah, he's just inducted into our Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he is amazing. And I messaged him and said, I heard your interview. Awesome job. I see your post. I'm so inspired. He's like, anytime you need anything or whatever, just reach out or whatever. Here's my cell phone. And so it's like, that's awesome, but he is so inspiring, and one of many. I mean, a lot of the people that you've had. So I'm just waiting for you to ask me what my goals are for 2022, so I can tell you I want to get inducted to the Hall of Fame.
There we go. What are your goals for 2022?
Oh, and here we have it. So based on the deals that I did year to date, I'm very confident that I can accomplish 24 deals, regular land flips, not including what I want to do for seller finance and note carrying, at an $8,000 profit. So that's 192 for the year. That might not get me in the Hall of Fame, because I know you have a long list, but I'm shooting for it. So that's my.
I think you're in the fast track for that. Because here's something else that I think now it's in a couple of these interviews that's been a common theme. That one kind of mistake people do is, and that's a very common mistake, is that when we have success in something, we just forecast the success on the linear path, right? So you look at that, it says like, well, if I've done 7 deals so far, I have 11 under contract, then I can therefore do 24 deals this year. Well, the reality is, though, that at some point of time, as you learn more and build those systems out, you cannot do linearly more. You can do exponentially more. Right? So the amount of work to do 10 deals right now is going to be actually, the amount of, let me say it the other way around, the amount of work it takes to do 50 deals with the proper systems in place is actually going to be less than the last 10 deals that you have done or that you're doing right now. So as a result, what we always see is, particularly when students enter a second year, the year 2 and then year 3, but that's why, guys, this is not a 30-day coaching program. This is what you can use to, within the next couple of years, put yourself into a trajectory where money does not matter in your life anymore, right? Who wants that? Give me a heck yes on that. And but going back to what I said, like, once you put the right structures in place, and particularly like in the second half of first year, or for some people in the second year, as you put this in place, you start realizing that you truly have become the CEO of your business, and that you can actually accomplish 4 times as much with less time that you were able to do before a quarter of the deals. So now you can do 4 times as many deals and with less time, with less effort. And now all of a sudden, the goal is that all of a sudden you don't realize $200,000, you'll realize $400,000, $500,000 in profits. And another thing that happens is, as you get better and better at this, your deal size gets larger, because your confidence continues to grow, but also your ability to, the areas that you're operating well. And you're like, whoa, I made a $10,000 profit over here. Let me see, or $15,000 or $20,000 profit over here. Let me do more deals of those, and less deals of those deals that I made $1,500 on. So this is all the fine tuning that happens over time. And that's why we have a 1-year coaching program, because it's about getting that first deal, getting multiple deals, optimizing the system such that you have a trajectory of multiple $100,000. So multiple $100,000. So my prediction for you, Cathy, is that you're actually going to blow this out of the water. You're going to have way more than you think right now, but that's okay. Like, it's better to, that's okay. That's $200,000 is a great goal. $192,000 is a great goal. And how cool would it be if you even extend that?
I would definitely agree with you, Jack, because that 24 at the 8,000 is based on what I did average on those first, me doing it all, not knowing what I'm doing. And so, yes, I would definitely think, I would agree with you that that's even very, modest, projection. So I can see that. And you've mentioned that in several of the calls that the students go, and that's how you track it. 2 and 3 and 4 years, they double, if not triple, what they did the first year.
And now for you guys listening to this, think about that. What if you can enter a business where, let's say in year 1, you make whatever it is you make in year 1, let's say 100 grand, right? 200 grand, 300 grand. But then where you have the trajectory to double whatever you make in year 1 in year 2, or triple it, and then double it again in another couple of years. And you're literally looking at potentially pulling in $500,000 to $1 million, or perhaps the $1 million in the first year, second year, third year, whatever it is. But you have a realistic trajectory that has been done, and a path that has been done by student after student after student into the multiple $100,000 per year. It's not a guessing work. It's not a luck game. It's not a multi-level marketing where you're depending on finding the right people and motivating them to do stuff and things like that. It's you and your ability to follow the steps that we have laid out for you that can and will, if you do the work, get you to the multiple 6 figures and beyond.
Thank you.